Welcome to the High Performance Gym, the personal and business development podcast for health coaches and personal trainers. My name is Key Witherspoon, former personal trainer and gym owner turned high performance coach and lifestyle entrepreneur. My mission is to help coaches develop their entrepreneurial qualities and the business to create a freedom-focused lifestyle. I believe we all have a uniqueness that we need to unleash to achieve this, and this is your genius. Each week I'll be bringing you an inspiring person or message to help you perform at a higher level so you can become a confident and resilient coach to build the business of your dreams. So thanks for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoy the show. So welcome to today's show. Today we have an awesome guest, Laura Powner. Laura is a mind and money mentor, and she's the founder of the Get Real Method. So Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm actually really excited for this because I love hearing I love talking and listening to people's opinions on money, and especially from yourself, because you're really versed at this and it's what you do. And that is awesome. I am going to take some notes myself. That's okay.
Okay.
So could you just give us a little bit of introduction of who you are?
Yeah. So obviously I'm Laura. I am a mind and money mentor now, but I started out in my career a very, very long time ago as a chartered accountant. So that is my background in the practical money side of business. But it didn't take me long to realize that you can help people with the practical side. If they're not there yet with their mindset, that's going to be the biggest problem. So now, as well as running an accounting practice, I also run an online coaching practice, really. And I work with business owners to establish their financial and emotional freedom goals. And then I help them transform their mindset and their energy and their strategy so that they can go and achieve them. And that's what I'm doing.
Also, I love how you said emotional there. So what do you mean by that?
So when people say they've got financial goals, right, they just sounds good, might have picked a number, might not really have picked a number, have got this concept of financial freedom, which potentially feels like I just wake up in the morning and money's not an issue. Doesn't keep me awake at night. It's not an issue when I wake up in the morning, but they don't have a number to it. And they haven't yet realized that we could give them all the money that they would need, and still the emotional issues that are there underneath that my money's not where it should be story would not have gone. And they would still be there. So we have to look at the emotional stuff. So when I'm working with people, there are kind of 6 key money mindset hurdles. And if I walk you through them, I think you'll see what I mean when I say the financial version and the emotional version. So the first one, and this applies in, I think, no matter what you're doing, the imposter hurdle, right? Who doesn't really know anything about this? We must all have had it at some point in our lives. Absolutely. It's that sensation of, oh my God, at some point soon, they're going to realize I'm really not that good at this. Like, I don't know why they think I'm good at what I'm doing, because I'm not that good, am I? And I'm going to get caught. And if I speak too much about this, people are going to notice that maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Do I know what I'm doing? It's all of that questioning, right? Of, am I an expert? Am I not an expert? Should I be an expert? Shouldn't I be? This imposter thing happens there. And the outcome of it is you don't really tell people what you do. You don't really write content because people might find you and then they'd want to work with you, and then they'd be shocked when they really meet you, and all of that stuff, right? So the outcome is, well, the revenue's not quite there. We don't quite get the sales in that we want. And the emotional impact is you're just waiting to be found out as a fraud. So we've got the imposter hurdle. I think we've all possibly witnessed it at some time. Then we've got the worth hurdle. And this is a biggie, and this underlies so many issues for so many people. And it's simply, I'm just not enough. I'm just not enough as I am, right? And this is a big one for money, because we keep thinking if we have the money that we need, that's going to free everything. We'll have hit our financial freedom, but emotionally, if you don't feel worthy of having that money, putting it in your bank account won't help you, because you'll find a way to lose it. You'll find a way to spend it. You'll find a way to just not stay financially free if deep inside you don't feel worthy of having it. It's human nature, right? You'll know this mindset wise. We live out what we keep telling ourselves. So if you don't feel worthy of achieving your goals, if you keep replaying what you perceive to have been your failures in life over and over and over, it's going to impact on you financially. So that emotional pain means you'll never hit your financial goal. You just won't. So this is where this, there's the emotional and there's the financial thing constantly hand in hand with each other.
So it's kind of like self-sabotage, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's just what we do. It's just in our way, right? We don't like not feeling worthy, but the reality is it's all we've ever known and we feel safe there. So we'll do whatever it takes to make sure we stay there because that's our comfort zone. So we've got the worth hurdle. Then we've got the receiving hurdle. So receiving just generally makes you feel uncomfortable. And we're not just talking about money, right? This could be simple stuff. Like you see people, you say, do you want a cup of tea? And they go, yeah, I'll make it. It's like, okay, because they don't want you to do something for you. They don't want you to make a cup of tea. And it's so simple, but it's automatic programming almost. I'll do it. Do you want me to help you with that? No, I've got this. Don't worry about it. We don't take the help, right? And someone buys us a present and we think, oh my God, they've got me a gift. I'm going to have to get them something. It's like, what? We don't have to do it, but somewhere in there's just this little thing, and receiving is uncomfortable. It can be compliments, it can be gifts, it can be money, it can be simple cups of tea, it can be anything, right? And that plays out in our businesses. We can never ask for the sale. It's not going to happen because it won't be okay for them to pay us something. Then we've got to make sure we give them more than enough back. It's like, just doesn't work out very well. And it can trigger like shame and guilt. And like all things like this generally go back to something in childhood that happened. There was a moment and you asked for something and it was a problem. And so now you don't want to ask for anything. And receiving's just, no, we're not going to go there. So I've got the receiving hurdle. Next one up is the capacity. So this is like an expansion of receiving. So we get to the point where we're okay with receiving within a limit. There's a limit that we're comfortable with. If we go over that limit, there's going to be a consequence, right? The capacity hurdle limits us to something that's in our comfort zone. And Gay Hendricks talks about this a lot in the Big Leap. Is that the right word? Big Leap. And it's about being, you're okay. So let's imagine 5K is your consistent income, right? You're okay there. But the minute you go over the 5 and you hit 7.5, there's a snapback. So what do? Oh, random unexpected expenses occurred. The car's blown up. I don't know, the gym's got broken into. You name it, a cost has arisen to make sure that net income stays the same, because we've got this capacity hurdle where we like it where it's at. Even if we tell ourselves we want more, it's what we're comfortable with. Then we've got the hustle.
Sorry, no, I just find that bit really, really interesting that you mentioned the capacity in that. Would you kind of liken this to say, I know it all ties in together in that worth, but it's mentioned that it's that worth, I'm only worth 5K, my capacity is kind of 5K. I find this a lot to the personal training world. Like for me, personal training it's a privilege to be working with someone's health. I think anyone who's a personal trainer and works with someone's health, they should be putting themselves up on a pedestal. Absolutely. Because, someone's health is so important. But most personal trainers, you'll mention 10K and these type of numbers and they're like, no personal trainer can, and they get quite offensive by it. To the point that you think you've actually just sworn at them.
Yeah.
And do you come across that a lot?
Absolutely. And there's a big thing with most people that I work with. They're doing it because they love what they do, right? And they love the clients that they work with. And there's a real disconnection about, I do this because I love it and I do it because it matters. And maybe I should just do that for nothing. And like you said, health is somebody's most valuable asset. It's the only thing we've got, really. That's the only thing that matters. Without it, what good is anything else, right? So we have this need to help, and when we're doing it and over something so important, we're like, I should really just be giving this to them. And it's like, no, what you're doing matters, and that's great, but it's okay to receive something in return. It's okay to be paid for your expertise and for the results. And what you're doing is really changing someone's life. And they're okay with paying for that. you're just not okay with receiving it. Different, right? But absolutely it shows up. And I just think when people love what they do, we just feel, because it's almost easy, we want to do it all of the time. We want to do it from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to sleep, because we're so passionate about it. And we just think, well, that doesn't really count as work then, does it? Surely it should be really hard, really, really hard for us to get paid. And it's like, no. Look at the result of somebody who was not feeling healthy, who was not living life to full potential, and now they are. I mean, that's just a mind-blowing transformation. We should be paid for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love there's a quote by Seth Godin, and you've probably heard it, and he says, what is it? It's love what you do or do what you love. He says, don't do what you love what you do. And that's the difference. That's a completely mindset switch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because then it's, like when I very first meet personal trainers and we work together, and they'll say, oh, well, I would do this for free. And I'll say, you've got to get out of that mindset of saying you'll do it for free, because you will, exactly what you just said there, you will have that disconnect.
Yeah.
And you think, wow, I shouldn't really charge for that. And straight away, you're limiting your potential, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Your capacity to earn more money.
Correct. And without being too woo about it, when you're investing your energy into someone, which you absolutely are, if you're personal training them, you're putting your energy and your time and your care into them. There has to be an exchange. There has to be. And the only real way that our clients can exchange it with us is by paying. That's what they're bringing to the table. We're bringing our knowledge, our expertise, our time, our energy. And the thing that comes back is the money. And we've got to be okay with that. Got to be okay with that. And it makes the client feel good. They want to give you something. They want to give you something.
And what I find, if you don't change that in quick, you end up resenting. You end up resenting what you're doing. It's okay.
And burning out.
And burning out, yeah. And you kind of think, and I'm doing all this, and I haven't really got the lifestyle that I want, or the money that I want. And you do end
I'm
up
doing all of this, and I'm going home at night wondering, how am I going to put the food on the table? You can't feel good and serve to the best of your ability if your basic needs are not being met. And we're also allowed to go beyond meeting our basic needs. We're allowed to have more than enough. It's what we were put here for. It's what the world can look like if we can all get out of these mindset traps that we find ourselves in. So I've got two more hurdles, I think. The hustle hurdle. This one is I have to fight for everything. I have to fight for everything. If you put my back against the wall, watch me come back, right? And a lot of us like that. Puts us in that really strong masculine energy of, I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove you wrong. I can do this, watch me. And we can go really well for a short period of time with that and get some really great results. But the consequence of the hustle hurdle is that you will burn out, because we can't keep proving and pushing and fighting long term. It's not healthy, right? Just like anyone would teach your clients the same thing. You don't want to do it, and you wouldn't want your people that you're doing personal training for to be pushing so hard 24/7. You don't say to them, I want you in the gym at 7 a.m. and you stay there till 7 p.m. tonight. You would never say that, because it's not healthy, right? And when we're doing this hustle, watch me, we're doing exactly that. Not good for us. So there's the hustle hurdle. Watch out for that one. Feels good because we're strong in the moment, but we get tired. We're just human, and we burn out, and then nobody's happy. And then the last one is the trust hurdle. This is the sneakiest one, right? So a lot of people that I come across with have trust issues. People let them down. They've been let down in the past. Nobody does what they say they're going to do. Understand all of that. Where's it coming from? You're breaking your own trust continuously. So it's not so obvious, but if you look for it, you might recognize it. It's little things like, I'm going to take Friday afternoon off. I'm going to be there for school pickup, and I'm going to hang out with the family. I'm going to do it this week. Definitely going to do it. And then Friday afternoon comes, and it's like, oh, I've got all these emails, and I've got this admin, and it's 8:00 and I missed bedtime and I didn't do it. What have you just done? You broke the commitment that you said you would honor. You broke your own trust. Same thing happens. I'm going to take the summer off. I'm going to take 2 weeks off, and you don't do it because you go to work. Break your own trust. And this has an impact, right? If you're seeing around you, I can't trust them and I can't trust them, look at how many times you break your own internal promises. Got to change that. Got to commit to, if we promise ourselves we'll take Friday afternoon off, we're going to do it, because it makes a difference, right? It's a trap that we get stuck in again. So those are my key money mindset hurdles. There are more, but they're all fairly similar, right? They're just a little bit nuanced, each one, but we all see them. We all see them, and they play out in what we do so much. So what would I do? I've told you what they are. We could just leave it there. Or we could say, okay, right, thanks for that. What do I do about it?
Yes. What is the key principle? What is the actions?
Yeah, exactly that. So I would just start, right? Just watch yourself, just for 3 days, watch yourself, and it kind of almost like an out of body experience, and catch those thoughts, right? When a client, calls you after hours, do you just go, oh my God, I've got to answer the phone, because if I don't answer the phone, then I'm not really there for them, and they won't want to. Where's the thought process? When you say I'm going to take Friday afternoon off and I don't, where's the thought process? What's happening? When somebody says, tell me what you do you go, oh, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You haven't got time to listen. Or do you actually relish the fact that you love it and tell them? What else have we got? I don't know. Let's say you're looking at your goals and you're thinking, oh, I could go over this month. What's the thought? Well, something's going to go wrong. It'll never happen. Catch the thought. So really, for 3 days, sounds a long time, but it's not really in the scheme of things. Just watch yourself. What is the thought patterns that are coming up? How are you feeling when you wake up? What's the first thing you think about? What's the last thing you think about? If you wake up in the middle of the night, what's going through your mind? Make a note. Don't judge it. Just make a note, right? And get to the end of the 3 days, find some time and sit down and go through your notes and try and work out, which hurdles did you spot, right? What did you see there? Is it all the same hurdle? Do you have all 6 of the hurdles? Is it 1 or 2? See if you can categorize them a little bit, and then go back and think, when did this first happen to me? When did I first start waking up at 1 o'clock thinking, I don't know how we're going to pay our bills this month? When did that happen? And go back. And you might find, surprisingly, it was when you were 6 and you heard somebody at the dinner table saying it. It's not even your issue, right? You're still internalizing something that you heard someone else talking about. It might not be that, but there's a chance, right? So we want to find, where did these first memories happen of it? And where have you seen it on repeat through your life? And has it actually happened to you at all? Because we're often living other people's stories, our parents' stories, our carers' stories, our friends' stories. They're not ours, but we saw it and it was awful. And we're like, oh, imagine if it happened, it would be horrendous. But it hasn't actually happened anywhere other than in our minds. And we're making all of our choices now because of it. So look for that. And then I have a process that I call dark journaling. And people are a little bit frightened by this. So we know that loop of a voice isn't always great, but it needs to be heard. And it needs the same level of respect as the one where we're going, yes, I'm enough. I can achieve all of my goals. It's just as important, right? And I write it all out. I give it a voice and I write it all down. You can either do this in, a boring black journal rather than a live, laugh, love one. And you can do it in, crazy pen that you would never normally write in, or you can just do it on sheets of paper and just let it be heard. Get it all out, because the minute you give it the space, you say, take the floor, here you go, it stops looping because you've finally given it some attention. And we write it all out and then we burn it. And there's something quite satisfying in that, right? It's like, right, you've gone, and it's lost its power because it's not looping, it's been heard. And energetically, and again, I don't want to go too woo, there's power in watching it go up in flames. It just takes those hooks off of you. So that's what I would do. Burn all of that. Then, it sounds like a really long process. You can do this over a couple of days. You can do it in an hour. It's up to you. Then imagine that hurdle's gone. What does life now look like? without it. If you're no longer sat there thinking, I've got this capacity hurdle, I can never earn over 5K or 2K or 10K or whatever your number is. Imagine if that's not there now. What could you earn? Well, the answer is, well, anything. I could earn anything because I'm free to do that, right? Yes, you are. So if you are free to earn whatever you want, what needs to change? Because we can't keep going with the same behavior that we've always been using. That's got us to this point. It isn't going to get us to the next level that we want to be at. So what needs to change? Work that out and start offering yourself some suggestions. And when I ask these questions, right, they're super simple questions. And everybody's default answer the first time they're going through this is, well, I don't know. But the answer is, you do know, you're just not used to listening. You're not used to accessing your own wisdom, which, by the way, has got you this far in life. And when you give it time and you sit and start talking to yourself, you look absolutely nuts. But the result of it is great. And you start finding, gosh, I have an answer to that. It's not right or wrong, but it's an answer. So let's try it and see what happens. And then with this new vantage point of what is possible, what could my life be like without these thoughts and worries, start setting yourself some different goals. And the biggest problem in goal setting that I see is people set safe goals, right? I could probably do that. I'll put that as my goal. It's not how we choose our goals. We don't choose what's safe. We choose what is a stretch. So I was working with a client a couple of months ago, and the numbers are kind of irrelevant, but they illustrate my point. And their goal at the time was 5K. And when we talked about it, I was like, why 5? And they were like, well, because I can probably do 5. I was like, right, but are you excited by 5? Does 5 make you think, yes, this would change something for me? No. I'm like, exactly. There's nothing exciting about 5. What about 8? Well, I don't know if I could do 8. I was like, I know, but doesn't 8 sound a bit more exciting? Doesn't 8 make you want to get up and try? And it was like, well, yeah. I was like, great. So 8's your goal. I don't know if I can do it. I was like, I know you don't, but that's not the point. The point is, what goal is exciting? 8 is exciting. 5 is not. So let's have 8. And guess what they did? 10. And they didn't know that they could do that until they stretched, right? Until they stretched themselves. And we're going for stretch, not struggle. So if you're doing 2, I'm not saying pick 25, because the reality is our brain will go, just no way. But if you're doing 2 and you go, what if I did 3 or 4? And it's exciting, then try, because we don't fail. We just move forward. We're not failing. There's no failure. No one's going to check you and give you a mark out of 10. Just try and go for stretch. So not struggle, stretch. And I think that is super, super important. And know that when you're doing all of this, we've literally, in a whistle-stop tour, pulled you out of your comfort zone. So the natural inclination is going to be, this isn't safe, and I don't like it here, and I'm going to sabotage it all so I can go back to where I was comfortable. So know that your mind's going to do that. It's natural. And say, how am I going to soothe myself here without snapping back? I'm not going to do that. I know it's uncomfortable. What can I do to soothe myself? And, you will know as personal trainers that your clients may soothe themselves by eating, or they may soothe themselves by not going to the gym, or all of the things. So you don't want to soothe yourself with something that isn't helpful. And the biggest thing that I do is go, when I need to soothe myself and I'm not feeling good, is acknowledge that I'm not feeling good. Doesn't mean I've failed. Doesn't mean there's a problem. It's like, I'm aware, there's an awareness now. And with this awareness comes power, right? I don't feel good. What am I going to do about it? Well, what do I really need? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to lie down on my own for 10 minutes? Do I need everyone to just go away? Do I need to go to the seaside? Do I need to drink some water? There are loads and loads of helpful, healthy things that you can do to soothe. And it starts with going, I accept that I don't feel good today. I accept that in this moment, I don't like this game that we're playing, and I don't like that we've decided to go for some stretch goals, and I really want to go back to my old way of being, but I'm not gonna. And when you honor it, it loses its it loses its power of making you want to snap back. It's like, no, I don't feel good and that's okay. But I know that this will pass, because all of our feelings pass eventually, right? It's a continual cycle. The journey of running your own business is like the world's worst roller coaster. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. It's like, oh, I just want to get off. But you know that it will pass. And there's peace in that. And showing up for yourself this way soothes it and changes all of it.
I love that. I love your process of going through that, especially the part about the journaling. Now, I never actually pulled a page out and burn it. For my sake, I do like to visualize. I'm a very big visualizer. And again, you can kind of go to a bit woo-woo and these type of things, but I do think by creating a vision, it gives your brain something to work towards. And the more you think about it, the more you start believing it. I always remember as a kid, and one of the biggest things, I don't know who said it, and it was just one of these things that goes around in my head: money doesn't grow on trees. So then you kind of, so you think, well, money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't grow on trees. Suppose, well, yeah, money doesn't grow on trees, but you can make money by doing X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
It
doesn't have to be so hard.
Yeah, but that's, I think you kind of grow up in that perception that you do think it's going to be hard, or you do have to be exceptionally gifted, or intelligent, or you have to have the right surroundings, which, probably maybe 50 years ago or 100 years ago you did.
Yeah.
Now there's an opportunity for everybody, and I think more than ever.
Yeah. And the reality is, probably when you look around your friends and your family, you might be the only one with your own business. And everybody's like, just get a job. Like, it's so much easier. And you have to deal with all of that on top of all the things that we've just talked about. And you haven't got anyone where you can look around and go, they're doing it. I can see them doing it. You're going first. And going first sucks when you're doing it. But when you start getting the results, everybody else around you starts going, oh my God, maybe we should have done that. Maybe we should have given that a go. And it comes good in the end, but it's really hard. And having your own business, this is a surprising thing to me. And this is how I ended up, not just doing accounting. It's the biggest personal development journey. And you can't avoid that if you want to change your results. You can't. The work has to be done, right? And this is what I'm talking about. This is the emotional work. None of anything that I've just said to you for the last half an hour has been practical financial, but it is the bedrock on which your practical financial stuff must lie, has to be done.
Which is interesting. I want to actually bring you to 2 points now. The first one was, you mentioned being alone, and you're the first one to do it. Then, it's different, I suppose, if you've got a family around you or whatever it is who's done all these things, and you can bounce off them and get ideas. If is someone who's doing it on their own, what can they do so they're not on their own? What things could you suggest that they would, they will have that support, and so they're not with the people who've never done it and don't understand it? What could they do?
So like you said, it's not like it was 50 years ago. It's 2021. We've got the internet. We have got online communities galore. There are millions of people doing what we're doing, even if they're not in your immediate social circle. You can find groups online where you can hang out with other people that get it, that know what you're going through. And having your eyes open and seeing that there is a whole world of other people doing it too is a bit like, I'm not the only one, right? It feels good. It feels good to find other people that get it. Be careful. How do I say this nicely? But be careful, because whilst there are these incredible online communities, you want to surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to be doing. So watch for that. Make sure that, you don't drift into all the people saying how hard it is and how awful it is, because it is hard. I'm not denying that, but we don't focus on that part. Yes, it's hard, but we've chosen it. So you want to talk to people who are going, it's really hard, but you'll never guess what I've managed to achieve this week, right? It's inspiring. We're looking for some inspiration. So there are online communities galore that you can join to remind yourself that you're not alone and kind of, pick you up. I think doing this personal development work helps you lose that fear of being alone, because the reality is we're humans and we're born alone and we die alone, and it sounds really depressing, but that's the reality of it. We're okay with being alone as it happens. It doesn't feel nice all the time, but we can do it. We can do it. And when you do this personal development work, you build a really good, strong relationship with yourself. And most people don't have that. Most people don't have that. And guess what? No matter where you go, you're taking yourself with you, right? So it's better to be best mates with who you are than not really liking them and trying to keep running away from them, because we keep going. Wherever we go, we bring ourselves. So that helps with the aloneness. But I would look for the online communities, read books, be inspired, podcasts, YouTube, books. There's so many people out there who are going after their dreams and doing things that matter. And it sounds really cheesy, but it's true. And when you read about it and you see that they've had struggles, but they've also had success, it's inspiring. So we're not alone. And there's so much opportunity to be inspired by others, to join in communities with others. Reach out to people who inspire you and tell them. The number of authors that I've messaged and thought there's no way they're ever going to reply because they're, really big authors and they won't be reading messages, who've replied back and said, thanks for reading it. Love that you loved it. It's like, oh, this is exciting. So make new connections, be inspired, and then connect with them.
The connections is huge, isn't it? It's
yeah.
And again, but it's that, oh, well, they won't reply to me, and who were there to reply to me, and I'm a nobody. And I was quite excited the other day, actually. I got it, it was on Instagram, and I put a post up, and Stephen Pressfield, I was reading Stephen Pressfield's book, and he messages back, and I was like, whoa, Stephen Pressfield's messages back, and I messaged him back again. But it's just, something, you're not going to get messages off everybody, but just some simple things like that, because there's a lot of genuine people out there who know the benefits of just replying and saying thank you, because that gives you a big kick, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And I'm not in this different world. I think because a lot of people do think they're here and this world, they can't touch that world because they're not worthy of being in that world. It's like, you are, like, everybody is. When
you take away our titles and our bank balances and the things that we have and stand us all naked next to each other, we're all the same. There isn't anything different. And I think most people get that, right? And all the people that we put up on the pedestals, when you meet them, they're like, dude, we're just the same. Like, what are you doing? We're all
skin and bones, aren't we? That's all we are.
Correct. So yeah, and do the thing. Like, I think for me, I didn't like it at first, and I was like, I don't want to let anyone know. I don't want to tell anyone that I'm struggling, because it makes me look weak and they'll think I'm failure or whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I do, but I'm not going to bore you with it. But just be brave and reach out. Just reach out to somebody. Like, some of my best friends now are online, and we would never be friends if I hadn't gone first and sent them a message. And then we developed this relationship. So there's so much opportunity. And, even in lockdown, I've been able to build relationships. Can't see each other, but we can look at each other on the internet because it's 2021. We've got that gift.
Mm-hmm.
So reach out. Don't sit on your own. Reach out. There are lovely people all over.
I think what you said there at the very beginning was really good. Look at a group or a person that you want to sort of not necessarily be like, but they've done what you want to do. I think that was great, because I've been in groups before and you haven't maybe really resonated with it, and you do feel left out. But if you get yourself into a group who have the same ambitions, and they've got that same mindset, and it's like, I feel welcome here. I feel like I'm part of the community. And it doesn't matter how high they are, because they know where you've been. They can communicate with you in a way that they can relate to, because they've been where you've been.
Yeah, exactly that. And any decent human wants to help anyone else who's coming up the same ladder that they've been, because they know how awful it was at the bottom. They remember climbing that first rung, and they may be 12 rungs up now, but they know that they're not better than you. And they just want to help everyone else up too, which I think all of us here do. We want to help our clients. We just want to help. And guess what? There are loads of other people like us out there.
And it's doing your research, isn't it? Because I know one of the biggest things that, this is probably across all industries, but I know personal training specifically, there's a massive, the people get their backs up when they hear the word business coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the messages I actually got was this personal trainer says, business coaches just see personal trainers as low-hanging fruit. And I messaged back and says, no, they don't. Like, yes, there's some unethical people out there. Of course there is, across all the industries. But there's
Exactly.
genuine people who want to help you.
Yeah.
And they want to help you kind of step up. If you're always being skeptical about everybody who wants to help you, then you're never ever going to get out of the hole that you're in.
Correct. And you've probably got a receiving hurdle issue and a trust hurdle issue that you need to deal with, right? But yeah, there are scammers. And like you said, it's across every industry, not just online, but in person, everywhere you go. But there are also amazing people. And we now have better access to them than we've ever had. And it is doing your research, and it is making sure that you go to learn from somebody who's where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Not just talking about it, but when you talk to them, it's not about, what car are they driving and what house do they live in. None of that matters. It's when they talk, do they make you feel like, oh, I get that. I can feel that. And if you find that person, then stay with them and connect with them. They're good for you.
Absolutely. To me, it's like when I'm doing this, when I'm looking for mentors and these type of things, and I've got an amazing mentor at the minute, and it is just amazing. But it's not what he's achieved as such.
Mm-hmm.
He's achieved loads of things. It's the barriers that he's overcome. And it's like, dude, I feel how you've been because I've been there. And, I can help you get past this because I've been there, felt it. And it doesn't matter what he's earning. It doesn't matter, what he's got in life, because his life is completely different than mine. I've got a family. He hasn't got a family. And it is completely different. But the point is, he started, in a position and he's overcome these. I think when you can relate to somebody like that, and you said, I've had this exact thing and this is how I got past it, I can help you past it. It might not be exactly the same, but this is how we move through.
Exactly, right. And because anxiety was my big thing, not all of my life, but when I had my daughter, I mean, it could have been hormones, it could have been anything. There was a lot of stuff going on when she was born, and I slipped into this world of like going from, I mean, can you use this word? I was a baller there in the industry, right? An FD of a really big company, well known for making a lot of money, had a baby and just went, whoa, can't cope, what's going on? It was awful, and got lost in this world of anxiety where everything that I'd been didn't matter anymore because I just couldn't cope with how I was feeling with absolutely nothing happening around me. It was awful. And so a lot of people come to me, they're anxious about money, but it's not really anything to do with money, as we talk about repeatedly. But I get their anxiety. So I understand it. So when they say to me, I just can't because of my anxiety, I don't go, yes, you can, come on, because I understand it. Eventually they do it, but I get their feelings, and that's what they resonate with. This is somebody who, even though I can't articulate it, even though it makes zero sense why I feel this way, she gets it. And that's what we're looking for, right? People who understand how we're feeling, no matter how crazy it is or how difficult it is for us to explain. They get it because they've been there. And they changed it. And I did change it.
It's that connection, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest
we
thing.
have an empathy. I think it gives you an empathy, right? And when that empathy piece is there, the results just change. Different level.
So going from like a practical side of things now, because this is kind of leads on to that loneliness. I like Robert Kiyosaki. To me, I've read like Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think it was a really great book. It was one of the very first books that I read on finances and financial intelligence. But what I really liked about it was his 4 quadrants. And to me, I just looked at it and I went, wow, that makes so much sense. Because like I've got nobody in my family who's in business. I'm the first person who's done it. So it's I've kind of started from the bottom and fought. And there's been no guidance. And when I first seen this, it was just like, that makes total sense. And I mean, you know the 4 quadrants. It's job/career, self-employment, business, and investment. I'm just interested with you being in this, that you're in that industry. What is your thoughts on that, and what advice would you give to somebody? Because what I see a lot of personal trainers do, the innocent self-employment role, and that's, to me, is where the struggle. So I'm just interested in your thoughts on that.
So I think practically what I see is, yes, people start in self-employment because financially that's the right thing to do. It's the way to structure it. But then they get obsessed, not obsessed, that's the wrong word. They forget that their business is outside of them. right? So that their business is not them. And when you get to a certain level of profit and the magic number is 30 grand, you want to start being a limited company anyway, for many tax reasons that we're not going to go into. It's just the detail you don't need. But when you have a limited company, right, we teach you to understand that you are separate to that limited company. The money in the limited company is not yours. It's the company's money. And we need to work out how we get it to you, but it's separate. And there's a real benefit of getting to a limited company status, because they finally start going, oh, it's separate to me. Okay, so we can start unpicking the things of, well, I'm only worth what my business is making. That's how worthy I am of anything in life. It's like, no, it's a completely separate entity. You're completely separate human. You're inherently worthy of all that you desire, regardless of what profit your business is making. It's two separate things. So you want them to be separate. And what I want people to understand is, when they've got their own business, this is the greatest asset that you're ever going to have, right? It is the greatest asset to generate revenue for you, for your children, for your children's children. It's going to make money. It's going to make profits. And those profits you can take and do something with. So you could invest them in property. You could invest them in shares. You could invest them in growing your business. You could invest them in buying more businesses. You can do anything. But it starts with this business that is separate to you, making profit and making money. And that's the first problem, because it's like, well, am I making profit? Am I making money? I don't know. Don't even like looking at that. It's like, no. We've got to look at it. This separate entity needs to be managed by you. Whether it's a sole trader or a limited company, it's still kind of separate, right? And it needs your management. It might be your business. You might be the face of it. You might be the only one working in it, but it's still got to be treated as a business, which is an asset, which can change your life if you manage it right. And to manage it right, we need to be clear on what exactly is going on. So we need to understand, what do our numbers say? And then most people go, I don't know. I haven't got any numbers. I'll look at my numbers when I do my tax return 9 months after the end of the tax year, because it's due on the 31st of January. So round about the 3rd of January, everyone goes, oh, I've got to work out what my numbers are. And what I'm asking people to do is, please, please, please don't do that. Because at that point, it's 9 months after that year anyway. So who cares? We want to know, how is your business doing now? Because how it's doing now is how you will decide your choices, your goals, and how you're going to run it. So going really, really practical, my advice to everyone is, please just get Xero. Please get Xero. It's an accounting software, right? There are other ones, QuickBooks, but Xero is my favorite. And I've been doing it for a really long time. So it's based on practical experience of accounting packages. Xero works, right? Get yourself a Starling bank account, because they're really, really good. And it's all online, and you can apply for it in your phone. You have to go to a branch, and then you can make Xero and Starling talk to each other, right? And then guess what? That means we've now got some numbers. So we can go and click a button that says profit and loss, and we can see how much we're making, because the two are telling each other. So every single month, you can go and have a look and see, what is my business doing? And it's live, and it's not 9 months after it was all over. It's now. And so you can make decisions now, and you can influence those numbers. But you've got to be looking at them first. And it'll tell you, where's the revenue? Does it need to be more? Are you in fact billing your customers? Because this is another thing that I see. So many people, I'm like, we've not got any revenue. And it's like, no, I haven't sent my invoices out. It's like, what? So they've done the work, but they didn't send their invoices out. It's like, no. So you put people in Xero, and it can automatically do that for you, right? You set them up and say they're working with you for 3 months. It will raise the bill on the first of the month for 3 months. You don't have to think about it again. So you're not going to be late in invoicing, because nobody wants an invoice for something they had 6 months ago. So you do it on time, and Xero helps you do all of that. So then we got a real good idea on revenue. So then we can look at our costs, and we can say, actually, the reality is it's costing me as much as I make. So that means this business isn't really working right now. Something has to change. Either my costs need to drop, or I really need to push on the revenue. How can I do that? And then we go back to all of our hurdles, and we go back to all of our journaling. And what did we say we were going to do? Are we doing it? But we've got the numbers there to tell us. And the numbers don't lie. and they give us a great story every month of what is going on in the business and what can we, as the owner and the passionate founder of this whole empire that we're building, do to change the numbers. So get your numbers, look at the story of the numbers, and then act on changing it. Don't be afraid to cut costs. People panic about this. It's like, oh, I don't know, can I live without that? The answer is yes. If you're not making a profit, yes, you can live without that cost. You need to, until we've got the revenue there consistently. So keep your eyes on that. Keep your eyes on the costs. Don't spend what you can't afford. I am a huge advocate for learning, and online courses are fabulous for that. But don't buy a course if you can't afford it. Just don't. And if anyone ever says to you, put this on a credit card, don't, because then we're going to live paying for that. We don't want that in this business, right? So yes, learn, yes, pay for things, but please, please, please do it from a place of being able to afford it. Is the money there? If it's not, wait. The course is good. It's not going to go anywhere. It'll be there next year. So make the money first, and check your numbers every month, because they keep telling you a story. And then we've got a plan, right? Taxes are a certainty. We have them every year. Don't change. Number of people who go, I just didn't realize. It's like, but it's the same. It's the same every year. If you're a sole trader, on the 31st of January, every single year, you'll have to pay your taxes. You know that. Never going to change. So if you've been looking at your numbers every month, you know how much profit you're making, and therefore you can guess how much tax you should really be putting aside. And Starling as a bank account is fabulous, because it's got, they call it spaces, but effectively you can have little pots. So you can have a tax pot. If you're VAT registered, if you're over 85K, if you're over 85K, you should be VAT registered. You can have a VAT pot. So all the money, you can keep moving it into the right space, so that the time it's due, it's not a stress, because you've already dealt with it. And that's why I say Starling. It's really good from that perspective. So yeah,
that little pot thing there, because I love that concept of putting money into different pots. Yep. I actually got this from Michael. He's got a really long name. Profit First.
Mika Valkovich or whatever. Profit First. Is that who you're going to talk about?
Yes, Profit First. And I like his concept of, putting 5% away as profit, 50% as owner's compensation, 15% tax, I think he said it was, and then there was operations, 30%.
Yeah.
And I loved how he'd done that. Do you have a similar kind of system?
Yes, I do. But for the fact that I'm not looking at it for somebody, I don't want them. I think it's quite confusing. Profit First, if you don't know anything about numbers, is just like, what? I don't get it. So here's my thing. Put if you're VAT registered, 20% of all of your revenue, move straight to the VAT pot. It's dealt with. You don't have to worry about VAT ever again. Just do that, right? Taxes, it's more complicated, because you're paying tax on your profit. But let's, for example, say that you average £2,000 a month as profit, then put 20% of your £2,000 into your tax pot every month. It might not be the right perfect amount at the end of the year, but it's far better than putting nothing in there and 12 months later going, oh, I've spent it. Right. So yes, when I work with somebody, I give them specific numbers that are for them circumstances, but it's different for everyone. But for just, if you go on a sweeping one, everything in revenue, 20% into the VAT pot, work out your average profit, put 20% of that every month into your tax pot. Job's done. Not complicated, but it just needs doing, and it needs to be done every single month. And it's so much harder when you wait a year and then you try and do it all. I mean, everyone's had that day, right? And they're just like, I hate accounts. It's awful. It's like, but it's not that bad if you just do an hour every month. It's sorted then. So
and then you can just shift money, can't you, and forget about it. Yeah. It's there, it's done, it's gone.
Exactly that.
I love that concept, especially the tax, because you can't avoid taxes, you can't avoid death.
Exactly right. They're the two certainties in life. They're going to happen.
Taxes and death.
But taxes comes with a date.
Exactly, yeah.
We know when it's going to be due. So, it just doesn't change. But the number of people who are like, oh, I just didn't know I need to spend that. It's like, how did you not? Where have you been?
When we're talking about financial freedom, what does that even mean?
So the reality is it's different for everybody. But when I'm trying to get my clients to understand the concept, there is a number, right? You can calculate a number that means when you've hit that number, you no longer have to work, so to speak. So let's kind of come up with an example. If you know that your bills every month are £5,000, right? If you could create, for example, a course that doesn't need you live, that's making £5,000 every month, oh, I've suddenly got nothing to worry about. Everything I do over and above that is a bonus, because I've just taken care of all my worries. I know that every month that £5,000 comes in, and that deals with the £5,000 that goes out. Now, that's just a really loose, light perspective. The reality is, when we're talking about financial freedom, we're talking about having built up enough profits over a period of time that we can invest it in the stock market, for example, and we know that we make an 8% return, and that pays for us and all of our expenses for the rest of our life. That is the reality of financial freedom. We don't have to go to work. We don't have to do anything. We've saved up enough that the return we make every year covers our living expenses for the rest of our life. We're free. That is the reality of financial freedom. But that's a really big concept, far in the distance, if right now we're still not quite making the profit that we want. So we come back to our business, and what we're looking for is, we know every month that our recurring revenue that is effectively passive is covering all of our expenses. That's a really sweet spot. And everything that you do one-to-one or live is over and above that.
Yeah. So what you're kind of saying is, anything that you're trading your time for,
yes,
that wouldn't be classed as financial freedom, because you're technically changing your time. So you're working 20 hours one-to-one, but if you had an asset that was creating revenue, that you didn't really have to be there for, that was actually paying your bills, you have that financial freedom. Yes, you do. You got a choice if you want to do this then.
Exactly, right? So everything over and above it is the choice. It's, do I want to do the 20 hours? Not really. I feel like doing 5. Okay, great. Doesn't matter, because you know that your costs are taken care of. Mm-hmm. And that is in the smaller version of financial freedom. But the reality is, over in the real financial world, what we're talking about is you have enough of a portfolio of assets that make enough revenue that cover everything, and you never need to work again.
And give you the lifestyle that you want.
Correct. Exactly. And that's where you start. Like, what does that lifestyle look like? Because not everybody wants, 2 Ferraris in a boat. Some people just want to have paid off their mortgage, and that's it. Right. And their lifestyle will be fairly similar to what they have now. So we work out, what is that lifestyle you want, and what does it cost? Because when you know what it costs, you can then work out what your financial freedom number is.
That's it. Now, one of the things that really irritates me online is I can make you this, I can make you this, and people are buying into these things, which is fine, but they're not understanding why they're doing it, and saying, you know what, do you need 20k a month? Do you need 100k a month? Yes, right. That will be nice to have, but what does your lifestyle want? What do you want from your lifestyle? That's always one of the first questions I say. What does your lifestyle look like? What does your ideal lifestyle look like? How much would that cost you? Well, it would cost us 5k. Right.
It's really sexy. Let's make 7 figures. But what for? What are you going to do with these 7 figures? Do you need 7 figures? Yeah. Because for me, my freedom, I need my freedom now because I choose to be with my children. So my kids are homeschooled. So they're here all the time, right? So every time I'm choosing to go and do something professionally, the cost of that is, okay, so I won't be with my kids. So do I really want to do it or not? Right? So my freedom is, I have that choice. I have the choice to say, no, thanks. I'd rather just be with my children, because that is my ultimate goal right now. That is what matters to me the most. And I'm okay, because I've got a portfolio of assets that makes the revenue that lets me do that. So here I am, financially free. But like you said, I don't need a boat, and I don't need 20 holidays. I just need to be able to be here. And that's what I've created.
And that could change for you, couldn't it? You could get 10 years down and say, do you know what? I want to earn 10 figures, correct, 9 figures, whatever.
In like 2 years' time, my kids might be like, you're such a loser. Go away. We've had enough of hanging out with you. And then it's like, okay, fine. So now I need to do something else. What should I do?
It's going to go and earn loads of money now, then, and buy 10 boats, because that's what my drive is. But that's the thing.
Exactly that.
Purpose.
Yes. And it's okay, right? We need to get comfortable with the fact we can change our mind at any time. Just because it's the 1st of January and I've set some goals, my circumstances may have changed so significantly on the 1st of July that I go, oh, those goals are completely irrelevant. it's all right to change them. That doesn't make us flaky. It's cool to actually keep reviewing. Where am I at? What is important to me? What are my values? And then live by those.
Awesome. Now, I know we're kind of short on time, but I've got one more question for you.
Okay.
And I ask everybody this who comes on.
Uh-oh.
I know what you're going to say. But so this podcast that I've been doing, it's all about kind of creating opportunity and freedom. This is kind of what I want. We know we spoke about financial freedom today, but what does freedom mean to you?
It really, I kind of just answered that before you asked me, but freedom to me, it's a long time coming, but originally it was the intention of being here for my children whenever I choose. So, I mean, obviously when I had my kids, I thought they'd go to school like all children do. So it's like I wanted to be there for sports day and pick up and drop off. And then it turned out that didn't work out for us. So now I need to be here all of the time because I'm driving their education for them. So that was important. But then the other freedom piece for me was I've got to get out of this anxiety trap because I'm afraid all the time. And that is not a legacy that I want to leave for my children. That, you've got to be afraid. I don't want that for them. So freedom for me was I've got to get through this. I've got to deal with whatever is at the source of this, and I've got to learn how to manage it. And then I want to be here for my kids. And I need to make my businesses and my investments work out so that I can do all of that. And that's what I've done.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
I do love that. Honestly, like everybody that's been on so far, not one person has mentioned, well, I want to have this lavish lifestyle of boats and things like that, which again, if people want, that's absolutely fine. You can go for that. But I think when you start talking to people, there's always a deeper underlying reason.
Yeah,
and
always.
it's so refreshing to get other people's perspectives on what they think freedom is, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
I just love that question.
Thank
you for answering that honestly. And that was great.
Thank you for having me here today.
So if anybody wants to kind of find you, Laura, and do you have anything available now that people could maybe download or you can get some more information from?
For sure. On my website, laurapowner.com, there are some free resources on there. And then I run a free Facebook community. I'm not a huge advocate of hanging out on Facebook, but I do hang out in my group. And it's a really cool place. And we're super honest about our emotional struggles, really, because like I've explained, they're fairly fundamental to the financial ones. So we chat about that. A really nice community, everybody's supporting everyone. So that's over on Facebook. It's called Get Real Community. So facebook.com/groups/Get Real Community, and you'll find us over there. But if you look at my free resources, there's stuff that you can help yourself to, and there's stuff for free in the group as well that you can access.
Awesome. That was so insightful. Anyone listening to this now, I've took loads away from it. Absolutely. That was brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Very welcome, Laura. Thank you for coming on and sharing that time with us today.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the show today. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you being here. If you would like some free resources to help you with your business, then click in the show notes. There is some free training and there's also a link to my free group. If you could also share this podcast with anybody that you think would benefit from it, because this helps us actually develop the podcast and spread our message to a wider audience. So that would be very, very grateful if you could do that. And leave us a comment. Let me know how you are actually finding the show and how we can best serve you. So thank you for being here today. Click on the link in the show notes and I hope to see you in my free group.